All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Doc Who Pod. I am Josh, and with me, as always, is my co-host JP. How are you, JP?
I'm all good, thank you. All good.
Very good, and I'm good as well. Thanks for asking. And this week we have a special guest. We're not quite calling him a co-host
Woo!
yet because we don't know if he's ever going to be on again. Bradley Fuller.
Hey, I finally joined. Buzzing to finally be here. Sorry it took so long.
Do you think you're going to be a
excited.
permanent guest, semi-permanent guest?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
The reason we had to get him on this week, we were getting calls from the police, and they were like, "Look, we just keep hearing this guy called Bradley like turn up in the episode, but nobody's ever heard of him." So we was just like, "Look,
Well,
we got to get him
I
on."
am the face. I am the face behind the TikTok account that is so good at the moment. It's getting all the likes, all the followers, and I'm smashing it. So, I had to come on, didn't I?
It's so
He's
good
just
at the
like face to
moment.
face.
There hasn't been a post. Yeah, face to face. There hasn't been a post for 2 weeks now, is it?
Is it that long? Are you timing it? Because I've
I
not
think
really
it's
looked
about
to be
2
fair,
weeks.
but,
I go on and check on a daily basis.
I've had to catch up on a fair few episodes, so I'm
I
a
know
bit
you got-
behind. But
You got all of season one to catch up with.
you've just looked. I've just had a notification that you're looking on the TikTok.
26th of August was the last post. You've really, really letting the team down at the minute.
Yeah, it'll come back up to speed. Don't you worry.
But anyway, as me and Jack have discussed on previous episodes, the whole point of this was it was going to be the three of us from the start, and then Brad chickened out and wanted us to spin the wheels for the first series and see if it's got any legs or anything. Now he's seen
I
that
can
we've
try it
become.
and see how it goes.
Now he's seen that we've become pretty famous. He wants aboard this fame train, and here he is. So this week we are talking about New Earth, the first episode in series 2. First David Tennant episode, the episode in which I've written the least notes, I think. Pretty much my only note in this is how fucking fit is Billy Piper in this one?
Tell me about it.
I mean, I look. If you'd have watched it back in, how old were we in 2006? Was this now when it came out? Was it 2006?
Yeah, like 8 years old.
Yeah, 8 years old. I mean, that's just every kid's dream, isn't it? Really, you kind of border on your first crush kind of thing.
Yeah, so I found out whilst doing research that she actually wore a push-up bra for the scenes where she was Cassandra and then took it off for the scenes that she was Rose.
Really?
Yeah, fact, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I say fact, it was on the trivia section of IMDb.
Fair enough. There we go. Well, that's a gentle introduction to the thing. I do agree with you about kind of the past couple of like the later episodes of season 1. I had kind of reams of notes on this one, but I've kind of gone back to not really taking a lot of notes for this episode. It was okay, but yeah, no, very interesting. I feel like we need some very jazzy, naughty music though to introduce this podcast because straight away off the bat, it was just in with some jazzy, like kind of sci-fi intro music while they were introducing, while Rose and the Doctor were saying goodbye to Jackie and Mickey, and it just took me back. It's just like that kind of stereotypical intro music for a sci-fi thing, which I don't think they really did in season 1. So it's quite interesting to hear that.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a change for this series, right? I had never realised before, but I wonder if you had. The TARDIS is in a different place to where it's left at the end of Christmas Invasion. And apparently the internet is littered with theories that Rose and the Doctor have already been on a few adventures before they do this one.
What do you mean it's in a different place? What one? Like
Where
in
they
London,
park it.
at the end of the last one?
Yeah, at the end of Christmas Invasion, it's in a place. And then at the start of this episode, it's in a different place. And apparently there are some stories. And I remember this, there was on the Doctor Who website, there used to be games. Did you ever play them, Brad?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. The Dalek one was a classic.
The Dalek one was sick, yeah. But there was also one called like Attack of the Grask or something. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's the thing from Sarah Jane Adventures, yeah.
Yeah,
the little thing.
Yeah, so apparently that takes place in between Christmas Invasion and this episode.
Oh, I do remember that actually, to be fair.
It was like a video thing, right? Like it was actual, like they'd filmed something.
Yeah, wasn't it like in the TARDIS?
Something
and
like
you
that,
watched you watched the screen in the TARDIS, and you had to do like tasks and stuff.
Yes.
That was
It was fun.
Yeah. God, how do I remember that?
So, anyway, JP, presumably you've got no idea what this is.
Well, I mean, I know what a video game is, and of course I know what a Dalek is now, but the one thing I'm thinking, though, is, I mean, say you got a car, for example, and you leave your car, I don't know, around your mates or down the road or something like that. Would it not be easier to just park the car, especially if, because Rose obviously goes in with a big old backpack with loads of stuff and everything like that. is the Doctor just not being a nice person, just parking closer?
Yeah, that comes up in a future episode. He helps someone moving by landing the TARDIS on all the luggage, and then it just gets like absorbed by the TARDIS and then it moves. But anyway, do you want to start running through your notes, JP?
Right. So next note, talking about the bag and Rose and everything. Of course, we get some very somber goodbyes between the Doctor, Rose, Mickey, and Jackie. And of course, what's interesting, I put a note that Rose actually has a bag now. She never took any possessions with her, in the TARDIS at all. So I know what you were saying about, kind of when we did the Christmas special, they're kind of redoing Rose's character arc and everything like that. So it looks like to me now she's a bit more dedicated. She's a bit more. She's got a little bit more planning now. It's kind of she's there for the long term. She's in, she's thinking in the future, should we say? And another thing I noticed as well, she gave Mickey a big old kiss on the lips.
Yeah, I've got that note as well. That was strange, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, well, it is strange and it's not strange because, something we were trying to work out last season was, what is the relationship between Rose and Mickey, Rose and the Doctor, Rose and Captain Jack, and everything like that. And I just don't know. I still don't know. We're a season in now, and I've got no idea. Because at the end of, in the Christmas special, they were very flirty, and it was almost like, okay, they're going for a romantic relationship between Rose and the Doctor. But now it's kind of back to Mickey. I don't know. It's very weird. I'd love to know what the writers like, kind of the direction that they wanted to take. Kind of the relationship between the characters.
Well, you only have to wait a few episodes to find out, really. Did you not think they were becoming a lot more romantic in this episode, though, the Doctor and Rose?
I wouldn't have said so, actually, no.
Are you mad? That bit when they're sitting on the grass and they're on top of his coat, and she's like, oh, this is where we had our first date, and they're holding hands and they have a snog, and...
I don't know, because then I was still taken from the, I saw, kind of when she left Mickey, I was then under the impression that actually she's more serious with Mickey. So I was like, I'm looking at the Doctor and the Rose just being a friend, kind of it's just two friends sitting on a coat in the grass, looking at the very, very shittily animated flying cars. But
no, I thought for sure they were flirting more this episode. Brad, you obviously know what happens. Did you not think they were romantic in this episode?
I'd agree with you, to be fair. I mean, the thing I want to know is what happened to Trish Delaney, because she never gets mentioned again after Mickey runs off with her, supposedly. And it kind of feels like at that point that Rose and Mickey had sort of ended, or he comes back and helps her in the finale of the last series. But yeah, I felt like in this episode, like you said, like he was laying on the grass, and although just skipping ahead a bit, when she is taken over by Cassandra and she kisses him, he seems like pretty happy about that. He's not like against it. So it does feel like they are getting closer.
I reckon so, yeah. And that's one of the best lines in the episode as well. Still got it.
Still got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's true. No, I do. Again, there was a few, I don't know, to me, it just seems a bit more of a flirtatious relationship rather than a kind of a stick a tag on it and we're serious kind of thing. But I don't know. I think that the whole thing with Mickey, right at the start there, I just kind of just put me in the mindset that I was like, okay, it's just as I said, some kind of like flirtatious relationship between Rose and the Doctor. And, it's obvious that the Doctor cares about Rose because you see back and forward, like when Cassandra starts taking over Rose's body and everything, it's Rose. He's caring about Rose. He's concerned about Rose, and like when the affected are there, he's like, make sure you don't let them touch you. You need to keep Rose alive. So I don't know. It's very. I think the further I watch in season 2, I'm hoping I should have a better idea of kind of what it is. But it seems like you still got your mindset already. So I feel like there's something that I'm due to see that is going to change my mind a bit.
Well, if he doesn't want to shag her after this episode, there's something wrong with him, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of briefly mentioned it there. The animation was a bit shit.
What?
In terms of what?
Well, there was 2 instances I was just like, Jesus, that's not hold up. The flying cars was definitely one. The flying cars just didn't look that looked.
This is 2006 though.
Yeah, but
and TV.
Yeah, but I mean, like kind of the CGI. Like, I suppose it was CGI. Yeah, the CGI in season 1 actually, I thought held up. I was like, okay, it doesn't look too bad. But I don't know, the flying cars just didn't look quite there. And there's a death where one of the cats the cat lady things falls down the shaft. And it was just like, oh my God, that's just shit. Like,
We'll get to that
I don't
scene,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that scene, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, CGI a little bit bad, but the what did you think of like the practical, the diseased makeup, and the cats are fucking brilliant. That's some good
Oh yeah, don't get me
makeup,
wrong.
I
That
guess. Yeah,
the actual practical effects, the costumes, the makeup, it's still top quality. It's still top quality. To me, I think it holds up now. It wouldn't look out of place if it was put on TV now. It wouldn't look out of place.
yeah.
Which
I
is just a testament to kind of the work that's done by the artists.
I did like that they had all the nurses in the background wearing veils just for no
Oh
other
yeah,
reason than we don't have to put makeup on them.
yeah, no, exactly. I got that straight away as well. It's like, okay, yeah, but again, that's a smart business decision rather than trying to blow your budget on trying to get everybody looking like that. You make a decision, and again, it doesn't look out of place. All right, you have to pretend that they can see through the veils, but yeah, it's a smart move by the writing team. But yeah, talking a smart move, of course we get that little robot bug, spy bug thing come up when Rose and the Doctor are just chilling on the grass. And straight away, I just put in brackets a Cassandra appearance because the last time we saw those robot bugs was in
End of the
I can't
world.
remember the name of the episode. End of the World. That's it. End of the World. When Cassandra made her last appearance, and so did the face of Bo and everything like that. And of course, it was. It was then Cassandra. You hear Cassandra's voice saying, "Oh, I need to see her face. I need to see her face." I was like, "Bloody hell!" Like it's quite a cool comeback. Like kind of a cool little callback thing.
Yeah, I think she's quite a good villain, to be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
actually.
she's. I just. It's one of those things, isn't it? Again, you can tell it's a Russell T Davies episode because it's definitely a comment on, kind of the appearance and kind of people changing their appearances because they think that they're not, kind of they don't feel comfortable in their own bodies and they feel like they need work done. And, it's obviously a comment to that. But I do think she's a good villain. She's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulative, I think, maybe.
Okay. In what sense?
I don't know. She does everything for personal gain. Like in terms of that she wants, like she wanted a new body. So she trapped Rose down there. And then she was just like, right, now I want money. Now, and then she's saying to the cat ladies that, like, give me this money. Otherwise I'm going to send the whole, I'm going to send everything to the news and everything like that. Like, and it's because she's doing everything for personal gain. I think the ending of the episode actually kind of closes off her arc and the fact that she actually did something for good, which I quite liked. I thought was good.
Okay, let's talk about that then. Do you feel her redemptive arc was earned?
I wouldn't say it was earned because she didn't really do anything to kind of help. I mean, the only reason she jumped down the elevator shaft was because the infected were coming after her. And that was the only option she had because they shut the door behind. So I wouldn't say it was really earned, but then she realized the kind of, not the error of her ways, because again, there was nothing really to do with her. It was just that she realized that the infected were actually people and, she was being a bit mean. But it was just nice to see that actually she had a kind of a bit of a realization and, what I really liked about the ending though was that it kind of closed a loop because right at the start of the episode she says, "I've only been called beautiful once," because the video's playing in the background when Rose first goes down.
Yeah,
and that's the video, of course, like from where Rose, the Doctor, and her turn up at the end. And she said, "Oh, I wish I could go back to here because it was the only time someone ever called me beautiful."
yeah. And then it was
And of
her
course,
calling herself.
it was her calling herself beautiful, which I thought was quite sweet. It was a quite sweet ending. But
Brad, did you think it was well earned, or?
I mean, if I'm honest, as Cassandra as a villain, I don't think she's really all that. I don't really see the point of her because right, she's the last human, and I get in the end of the world, like she actually had something she was going for. But in this episode, I don't really see what her aim was, and that's another thing I felt about this episode, and we'll come on to that probably. I don't really feel like she was actually the villain. When you actually think about the episode, what causes the danger for the Doctor and Rose is the infections and the cats who have caused all of this. So I see the cats and that as the actual main villain. And at the end of it, he kind of ends up helping Cassandra.
Yeah, so I got the impression that Cassandra found out there was something going on. They were doing dodgy experiments, and she was like, right, I'm going to basically blow the whistle or get them to pay me off. And that's how I'm going to make my money. But you brought up a good point there. The cats are the villains. Are they though? Or are they
Oh,
working in the greater good
I,
of humanity.
I feel like that's one that we should cover later in the podcast because
Okay, all right, we'll build up to it as per JP's.
I got some notes. I got some notes on that later in the episode because yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. New York is an interesting one as well.
Oh, here we go.
You know,
The Futurama fan comes
cue the
out.
future, yeah, cue the
And then
Futurama music.
YPD.
Yeah, NYPD. I loved it. I just thought that's brilliant. But that just made me chuckle. He just goes, "Oh, it's New York," and well, technically it's new, 15 New Yorks. But yeah,
New York.
what was that?
Oh, you're
15?
such
Someone count
fucking
it back.
nerds. Yeah, someone count it back and let us know in the comments.
Did he actually make the 15? But no, I quite like that. I think that's pretty. Maybe chuckle anyway. Also maybe chuckle as well. There's two things that they do in kind of smart editing, which really made me laugh. Because while Cassandra's looking at Rose and the Doctor through the spider robot thing, she says about get revenge on that little bit, and then they cut to the Doctor and Rose going into the thing, and of course the Doctor goes bit rich, so of course it just cuts and get revenge on that little bitch. And then there's another time as well where they say about talking out your ass.
Yeah.
And of course, it cuts to ask not, which it just really made me chuckle. I was like, that's smart editing. I like that. You know, just a little bit of, I guess, adult humor. You know, kind of kids may not recognize it, but of course, adults will kind of take a double take and think, "Hold on a minute, can I be showing the kid this?" But yeah, that
yeah, exactly. Racy episode in general, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I thought it was quite funny. I mean, what's up with the cat ladies though? That's a random one, isn't it?
How do you think that came about? Do you think we've shagged a cat and that's how that's happened?
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, because they're called the Sisters of Plentitude, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is a very kind of, you know, they've obviously taken inspiration from like, you know, people like Florence Nightingale and, you know, kind of like, sisters in wards and everything like that. But
Lucy
yeah,
Letby.
it's a bit of a, oh dear, yeah,
God.
actually, yeah, you know, kind of, but yeah, I don't know, it's very weird. Like, it's just a cat lady. I mean, as I said, I thought that was a hentai, because you know you see cat ladies all over the internet. But yeah, it's just very weird. I mean, maybe that was a start of an obsession for a generation right there. Just cat ladies in nun suits.
All right. Well, here's a question for you then, Brad. Would you?
Probably not.
No, you don't want some feline action?
No, a bit too furry for me.
Yeah, you get carpet. Yeah, so of course the Doctor and Rose go into the hospital, and the Doctor's quite obsessed with having a gift shop there, like kind of a.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that.
It's a bit of a random one. I mean, it's a fair point. You know, I was in a hospital yesterday, and you know, kind of trying to find a fucking shop to get something to eat is just impossible. Like, you know, you need a good shop.
Yeah, every hospital has a good shop.
That becomes a running joke, I think, right, Brad?
Does it?
Well, yeah. We don't want to jump too far ahead, but if you think about first episode of the next series, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Can't talk about that.
I'm keen to know. I want to know.
All right, well, we could briefly talk about it then. So that leads on to sort of the reveal of the Face of Boe. So we're in the Face of Boe sequel, which then becomes a trilogy because he obviously has his secret that he's not going to tell the Doctor. So JP, I was obviously due to ask you, did you spot the Easter egg in this episode? It's not in this episode.
It's not, because there's no angels in it. I'm convinced. I'm on the angel hype train. That's it. That's me. I'm feeling the angels.
You'll be pleased to know it's laid the Easter egg for season 3. So you need to now be on the lookout for season 2 and season 3.
Interesting. Before we go talking about the Face of Boe, though, and his kind of trilogy, there is something I actually wanted to point out, because of course they go in the elevators, and that's when they get separated.
Oh,
Two things. Yeah. One, that's a bit of a dick move with the disinfectant, isn't it? I mean, just imagine that. You're just there. Like, what if you was holding a bit of paper or something?
Well, do you, again, funny note whilst I was doing my research, David Tennant filmed that first on the day Billy Piper wasn't there. Then they didn't tell Billy Piper what the disinfectant was going to be. So her reaction while she's getting is absolute genuine.
Genuine, yeah. I thought that, because it did look like a genuine unscripted reaction, which was just quite funny, really.
I think they edited around all the swear words.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, yeah, there probably would have been a few swear words if it had been, you know, a genuine reaction. But the other thing I really liked about it just kind of is just a little thing that kind of developed Rose's character in it. She says thank you to the elevator
She's British.
Well, I just think it's a nice thing to do, isn't it? You know, you kind of she doesn't need to say thank you. Like it's like us going to Alexa. You know, you kind of say Alexa, play music, and then it starts playing music, and you go thank you. You don't need
Yeah,
to do it.
I
but
always
it's
say my
just-
please and thank yous to Alexa.
Do you?
Yeah, not always, but most of the time.
Right, okay, guys, let us know in the comments or on Instagram, Twitter, anything like that. Let us know. Do you say thank
TikTok.
you, please? Yeah, please. Do you say please and thank you to an Alexa? Because I'm genuine. I want to know because I didn't think it was a thing people did. But
Basically,
I
do
was
you
just
have
like,
manners or not?
no, because you're just well. In fairness, you are talking to a person in Amazon, but you know.
Anyway, I think what builds more to her character is that she picks up that lead pipe as soon as she gets out of the lift. Like she knows now.
Brilliant
She's at the
move.
point where she knows. Yeah, she doesn't do
Brilliant
anything
move,
with
but-
it.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, if you're going down into a dark, dingy alleyway and some creepy guy is calling your name, you're gonna grab something.
yeah, but she
Yeah, I was
doesn't
gonna
know
say-
that. She thinks she's on Ward 26 with the doctor. She didn't know she's going down, up, left, right. She thinks this guy probably just chauffeured the doctor.
I mean, it's pretty obvious though, like because at the end of the day, the reception area of the hospital is all very nice, all very white, you know, that kind of thing. And then they go. Obviously, she goes down, which again has got to be a fit. Like, yeah, it's got to be a sign that you floor 26. You would have thought you'd be going up.
Yeah, NHS wards aren't great at the moment, but it still looks better than what that did.
Yeah.
You'd
I
think it would
grab a
look
lead
better if it was a ward, it'd be better than that.
I was gonna say I had to grab a lead pipe yesterday anyway. You know, it's just it was just to fend off the locals. But
Brad's
yeah,
had that
no,
joke
that-
written down since she watched the episode.
but yeah, no, I think that you know it was pretty obvious that she wasn't in the right place, and again, you know, she's had a whole season worth of traveling with the doctor, so she's almost got that kind of sixth sense of danger. You know, she's expecting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She's not naive anymore. Well, not I'd say that she was naive anyway, but she's more switched on now that she's like, okay, no, this could be trouble. Which it ends up being anyway. But yeah, no, it was I picked up that straight away. You know, she just grabbed the weapon, and that was smart. But yeah, then we go into the ward with the face of Bo. We find out it's the face of Bo who's getting the message across. Which, again, you know, him being psychic, that explains how he gets the message across to the doctor. Because I'm sitting there thinking, how did someone write on the psychic paper?
Did it actually say it was him that sent the message?
No, it just said go to floor 26 because the doctor says, "Oh, I'm here to see someone, but I'm not sure who it is."
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's almost interesting. Almost as interesting though as the kind of the exorcist treatment. I mean, the treatments there. I don't know, hospitals are the best at times, but there were some interesting kind of treatments going on.
Go on.
I mean, well, first of all, they had some kind of, you know, the scene in The Exorcist where the kid like rises up from the bed and he's just levitating like above the bed.
Yeah.
They had a guy that was literally just levitating there, and I was like, that's a bit creepy, but okay, fair enough. And then of course you had the guy that was turning into stone, and you know, it was some very weird and wonderful treatments and everything like that. Which again, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's props to the writers and the effects crew because, you know, you are in the future. You know, you're 5 million years in the future. There's bound to be some weird and wonderful diseases, which, you know, they obviously got the creative hats on. So fair play to them. It was, I quite liked it for setting up that you're in a hospital in the future. You know, we have hospitals now. So how do you determine between a hospital now and a hospital in the future? Well, just
You have to cure cases for
Yeah.
levitation and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Brad,
So,
the stone guy. Do you reckon that's an early case of the angels?
No, if you think about without spoiling anything again, if you think about what the rumors are behind the angels, there's no way that could relate to the angels.
But there's the episode with Amy where she starts slowly turning to stone, right?
Yeah, but that's because the angels inside her.
Well, maybe the angels inside him.
There's no.
I reckon Moffat
That's
could write that in.
I think there would have been a
reckon he
bit more of
could
a
do that.
specific. Is this a Moffat story then?
no,
No,
it's Russell T Davis.
He could backtrack
Oh.
it.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, that could be the angel Easter egg. Then, if you're saying that is the thing, that could be the angel Easter egg.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. It could be.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm calling it.
Maybe.
I'm convinced
Yeah.
it's the angel Easter egg. I've called this from the last episode of season 1.
No, and you
Can I
should
just check
definitely
something,
call it
actually?
every week. Yeah.
I do want to check. Was the Easter egg actually in this episode? Because I personally didn't see it myself.
No. I don't think it was.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that though, because at the end of the day, I couldn't see any angels.
Was that the
in there.
angels?
Unless it was this angel turning into stone.
But that was it. I was sitting there looking through it. And I was like, I don't see any angels. I was like, oh, no, that's it. And I'm so glad that you jumped the gun and you said to me that the Easter egg wasn't in there. And I was like, oh, thank God for that. that saves my embarrassment. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah, and then of course we see the face of Bo for a little callback. A second callback from kind of Cassandra, which I quite like actually. I like that they kind of brought some of the characters back from episode 2, season 1.
Yeah, something that happens a lot throughout the episode 2s of Russell's era, to be fair. Yeah, he's a moody bastard in this one, though, isn't he? Doesn't say anything until the end.
Well, he's dying of old age, man. Yeah,
And then he
he's
just
up and about, is he?
But then he just gets to the episode and he's like, do you know what? I actually don't feel like dying now. See you later, mate.
No, didn't they say he got cured or something?
Like, what?
I don't know.
No, I'm calling all that drama. So it's actually because they hadn't had season 3 commissioned at this point. So he wrote Face of Bone, was going to give the story, was going to reveal it at the end of this series. Then they got commissioned for series 3. So he rewrote it, but left him in. So I think it's a bit of a nothing inclusion, to be fair.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they gambled hard on it not being commissioned for season 3 and then had to undo after they'd done it. Yeah, okay, I get it. What I don't get, though, is, of course, we got this high-tech hospital in the future. So you've got weird and wonderful kind of potions, IV bags, people levitating, cat nurses, all that stuff. But they decide to use see-through dust sheets as kind of like privacy curtains. Well, like if you look at the privacy curtains and everything, they're just see-through dust sheets. Like, surely you'd be like, oh, let's just put up a force field or something like that.
I don't know is the answer.
I mean,
BBC and budget.
Yeah, just kind of. It looked like they were painting the hospital while they were there. Just loads of dust sheets hanging around everywhere. Just some bloke painting the ceiling, another one drilling the walls. That's it.
Maybe they.
That is what hospitals are like anyway. They have those curtains. It's like that's a hospital thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're like kind of fabric curtains.
Maybe this was this would have been like the posh exclusive ward. So maybe they all know each other and it's like a networking event. And
so you can see each other through the curtains as you slowly die in bed.
If you were taken into hospital and they said to you, right, just keep the noise down, the guy next to you is slowly turning into stone, would you or would you not want to see that?
Oh, I don't think I'd want to see. I don't like hospitals anyway. It was a bit of a grim episode for me. I'm not a fan of hospitals.
If they said the person next to you is slowly levitating, would you be like, can I just have a quick look?
I'd want to throw a few things and just see if it bounced off. Like if it was like, because when you're in space.
What's that got to do with levitating?
You just want to throw shit at people. What's wrong with you?
Well, no,
you're trying to put your hand underneath to see if anything's propping him up.
Yeah,
like the hula hoop out.
No, but like when you're you don't know when you're in space, but like when you're in space, of course, there's no like resistance. So if you was to throw something at someone, all right, you'd go the other way. But when that object hits that person, they'd then like kind of knock on and they'd just go for it. I'd want to see if you could just knock them into the wall.
That is the weirdest initial reaction I've ever heard, I think.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I won't lie.
It's physics. It's just, yeah.
Let's not get into it. Let's move along.
So we then go to the old switcheroo, the old Freaky Friday switcheroo. And Cassandra switches bodies. Well, I can't even say she switches bodies with Rose because Rose just is still in Rose's brain. It's just she's pushed to the back, I think Cassandra says, or something.
Yeah, she's being compressed into oblivion or something, I think the doctor says at one point, right?
Yeah, which I guess is a convenient thing. And of course, they also make it a convenient point that Cassandra's brain that's in the jar is then completely decayed. So she then can't go back into it. And I actually thought, before they said that, I was like, oh shit, Rose is dead. They've just killed Rose off. And is the doctor going to have to like kind of go through some weird, kind of, I don't know, some kind of psychic realm or something. But no, they then said that she was actually compressed at the back of her brain. And again, it made for, it was a convenient thing. But it comes back in human form. And then she wants the D. Then she wants the D.
The D.
Oh, right. I misheard that. Do you want to redo that, JP? That fell on deaf ears.
She was straight on the doctor, so I don't know. Maybe she thought that David Tennant was better looking than Christopher Eccleston.
I mean, she's probably not wrong.
I mean,
she's 100% right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it certainly gives way to just what must have absolutely blown my mind as a child. Even watching it as an adult, I'm like, right, I'm going to have to pause and knock one out quickly because, oh, fuck me, she's so fit when Cassandra is Rose. All the lines like living inside a bouncy castle. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Look, fair play to Billy Piper and David Tennant, because they had to act as a character that was being taken over by a different character. So they're almost playing two characters at once. And fair play to them. They both absolutely smashed it. I mean, Billy Piper there with the different accent and the different mannerisms, and it was just perfect. And then David Tennant as well, just playing Cassandra as inside the Doctor it was just brilliant. It was just so funny to watch. And again, it's a testament to good acting. Both obviously very good actors, and that's it. But it was quite funny when she's looking at herself in the mirror and she's just like, "Oh no, I'm a chav." I forgot the word chav existed, and I was like, "Wow, yeah, I forgot about that word."
I bet Camp David Tennant is some of your favourite stuff in this episode, Brad.
Oh, he's class, isn't he? Come on, anything David Tennant does, we know he's brilliant. And when he puts on a camp accent, it's just the best, isn't it?
It's pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, so we then, of course, then get a little bit more where Rose and the Doctor meet back up. Cassandra gets confused by a mobile phone and then works out how to use it. But it just makes me really funny how she starts putting Cockney rhyming slang in there as well.
yeah. How does she speak? Old Earth Cockney.
Yeah.
I'll meet you up the apple and pears.
Yeah, which just really makes me laugh, because it obviously Cockney rhyming slang must have existed 5 million years in the future. Because that's
in the same way that Latin still exists to a degree.
Yeah, but nobody speaks it anymore.
Some people do. You get some fucking weirdos.
Yeah, no, that's it. So the fact that Cassandra had kind of knowledge about Cockney rhyming slang, it tells me that the Cockneys, they live around 5 million years in the future, which is quite funny actually.
I like the bit where she goes upstairs, she meets the Doctor, and then he's slowly working out that she's not Rose. I like that when he's scanning the computer. She's like, "How can it not have intensive care? Check the this, check the that," and he's like, "Right, you're not Rose."
Yeah, that's it. But he almost plays along with it, and I think that's quite a sensible way to do, because it's obvious that he knows that that's not Rose. And kind of as a viewer, you kind of get into a little bit of like, "Oh, hold on a minute, the Doctor's missed this. Like, what's going to happen to him?" But the Doctor waits until the right moment to then reveal that it's not Rose, and he knows it's not Rose, which I think is pretty sensible. Because again, I think the Doctor's trying to establish all the facts. He knows it's not Rose, but he doesn't know why it's not Rose. And of course, Rose could still be in danger.
Yeah, he's a bit more calculating. He's waiting for the right time to strike. He's doing everything that I hated. He's not doing everything I hated about last time. He's not just this action hero that's going in. He's working it out. He's waiting to reveal his hand. He's playing a game of poker. I like that bit. I like that bit where he's sort of working it out.
Yeah, no, exactly. And of course, it then comes onto they just go down into that. I don't know they call it intensive care, but of course it's not intensive care. It's just a battery, almost like a battery farm from the Matrix, really, isn't it? But
it's a bloody big green screen is what it is.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Again, not a fan of a lot of hospitals, and I know that hospitals aren't like that, but that was a kind of a bit like a skin crawl kind of thing. I was like, "Oh, that's not very." Oh yeah, and I just don't like things like that.
I have to say,
do you not remember watching? Do you not remember watching this as a kid, Josh? How did you feel? Like, I mean, I remember I used to be scared of this episode because it was like a zombie episode, basically. The way that they come out with like a weird face, it's grim.
Yeah, I don't really remember watching it as a kid. The only bit I found grim on the rewatch is the inside of the pods looked dirty as fuck. Like, I don't know how they did it, but it looks so fucking grim. Just like, like they're actually sitting in that. It's rank.
Yeah, I was gonna say the reason you probably don't remember watching it is because you must have been behind the sofa, like kind of going, "No, I don't want to watch it. Don't want to watch it." Dad.
Yeah,
probably. Or I was knocking one out to Billy Piper. It's one of the two.
But yeah, no, those pods were pretty gruesome, and of course that then takes us on to the conversation after Cassandra's put the Doctor. Actually, that's a part of the plan that I couldn't really get my head around. So Cassandra wanted to kill off the Doctor, so she puts him in a pod and she says, "Oh, you've got 10 minutes until you're injected with every known disease in the universe." So you're like, "Okay, yeah, it's a bit of a threat. How's the Doctor going to get out of this one?"
And she just lets him out.
But then Cassandra just lets him out anyway. It's like, well, hold on a minute. Surely you should have just had a little timer going or something and gone, "Okay, yeah, now I'll let him out."
No, I like that because again, it shows how manipulative she is. she's weighing up her options, and she's like, right, do I take these nuns on head on and probably get fucked? Like my plan, they don't want to negotiate, so I fucked it here. I'll get the doctor out. I know I've got a bargaining chip because I've got Rose's body. I'll take my odds with that. I rated that. I like that.
Yeah, no, I suppose, but it did make me laugh though because she's obviously very calculated, like kind of calculating. She had a plan A and then she had a plan B. She didn't really have a plan C because then it all went to it all went a bit sideways. But yeah, no, I like that she just changed on the fly straight away. She was just like, right, okay, well, sod you, I'm going to release everyone and that's it. Well, in fact, no, she didn't need to release everyone, did she? Because the system broke.
Yeah, she only released like that corridor, I think, and then one of the
and then
fucking loopy bastards just put their hands in it. They are quite creepy, to be fair. And then they just start talking out of nowhere. I didn't get that because weren't they supposed to be like nothing, and then all of a sudden they've got into it? Because even the nuns, they're like, oh, okay, it's talking, it's showing thought and rationing and that sort of stuff.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's a comment on evolution, isn't it? Really, because eventually, kind of the brain has got to evolve. It's the same as why do animals not speak? Well, it's probably because they've not. I mean, technically they do speak, but just in a different thing. But it's that kind of, it shows that the
That's
evolution.
not true.
What?
Animals don't speak. What the fucking don't?
You've heard a cat meow or a dog bark or a wow do its little echolocation thing.
Conversing though, they just make noises. Yeah. No
and
way.
How do you know?
They don't understand. No, they just because they just don't. This is a scientific fact. They don't converse. They just make noises. So they make like a danger noise or an it's safe noise. They don't chat.
Yeah. What do you think we make noises?
Yeah, but
it's just that conveniently as they're in English and of words. Theirs is just like a squeak or a growl.
No, animals don't have conversations with each other. That's nonsense.
I think they do.
It's 2 against 1. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. It's 2 against scientific fact, though. What are you talking about?
I'm the decider.
Yeah, that's the decider. Animals speak to each other. That's it. They communicate. The only reason we can't communicate with them, we can, but of course we can't understand them because we don't know.
That's such nonsense.
Right. Your cat, for example, right, back home, like back in the UK, when Bob wants food because he has a certain meow, yeah?
Yes.
That's a certain meow. And you'll also know when he's scared because he'll hiss or he'll
but
kind
that's
of whine
not
or something
a
like that.
Conversation. Cats aren't saying to each other, fucking hell, it's been a right old day, Bob. Jesus, I did this, I did that. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, but that's wasted words.
What do you mean? They don't do it to save fuel. They do it because they can't do it. That's what separates us from the animals.
Nah, they communicate between each other. They just don't have a general chit chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because they can't.
No. Well, maybe they can't. But it goes without saying though, they're able to communicate between each other, which is what the infected were able to do. They were able to communicate. They'd evolved to communicate, and that's what the two nurses were saying when they opened up the pod. And again, that was an absolute horrific thing. They were like, they opened up the pod and they were like, "Oh my god, it's sentient! Quick, kill it!" I'm like, oh Jesus! Like,
oh yeah.
So that was a bit dark, wasn't it? But yeah, so that's that. That's it. And of course, that then takes us on to the medical ethics thing. Are the cat ladies evil or are they not?
No, they're not.
Evil with good intentions.
Evil with good intentions.
No, they're not evil.
I'm going to throw a big spanner in the works, or whatever you say. Of course, the Nazis in World War II were documented in, kind of experimented on humans and, kind of like people that they kept in the camps. And a lot of medical understanding comes from what happened in those camps and in those experiments.
Yeah, but it's even one removed from that because these aren't humans. These are clones. These are not. No, they're not. They're clones. They're clones.
No, they're genetically grown beings.
Genetically grown beings that are now sentient.
By your very argument, JP, we shouldn't be doing like stem cell research and stuff like that because that's technically the same as that.
I don't want to turn this into a news thing, but in the news last week, they actually successfully grew an embryo from no human DNA whatsoever. They just grew they literally, like a plant, they literally just grew a human embryo. And it had it registered on.
It must have something to be human. You can't just grow something without.
No, this is the thing. So they
of course you can. We're all just chemicals.
Yeah, so they literally grew it without a need for an egg and a sperm. That it was just grown in a lab. and it
What
showed
was it
up on
grown
like
from then?
stem cells, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, but like, and it showed up on like, so like it registered on like hormonal tests and everything, the same that a human embryo would have, like, to say if it was like in the gestation period, it actually showed like kind of showed the same hormone, kind of like track. So
Well,
again,
it's
like,
no different than testing on rats or fucking monkeys, but it's even better than that because these aren't things; these are made things. It's like, I don't know. It's like experimenting on a fucking dummy. Do you know what I mean?
But they have
yeah,
lives. Like
they
they
have
have the
lives.
ability to have lives
They wanted to
after
touch.
their, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Could
but
think this person.
what have these genetically grown beings done to not deserve to live?
Yeah,
What have
they've
they
done
done
nothing
to
wrong.
deserve to live?
They're living. If you're
Yeah,
living, you deserve to live, unless you've done something very bad.
they're
In my
living
opinion.
beings.
That's not true at all. That's everything that's wrong with the world at the minute. Is that we put too much emphasis on people that aren't important.
Oh
The
yeah,
way that I see this story, right? The way that I see this story is, if it wasn't for the cats, there wouldn't be any sort of danger in this episode. They create the infections, they cause all of this. They're the real danger. I see them as the villains.
yeah.
Yeah, but
It's almost like if Batman was to beat up a robber who was robbing a store to feed his family, that kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah,
but
right.
if
You
the
committed a crime.
cats hadn't been doing that experiment, everybody on Ward 26 would have died. Face of Bo would have died. Man turning into stone would have died. The cats kept them all alive.
Well, this is the thing, because what they're saying is that everyone is cured from pretty much everything. But then what I don't understand, though, is if everyone's cured from everything, why is there a need for kind of the human test subjects?
No, I think it was the human test subjects that were helping them find the cures.
Yeah. But then it just goes to show you, though, that the doctor cured everyone. So they
Yeah,
could
I
have just
know
cured
the
everyone
selfish
anyway.
part.
Like,
yeah, but that's because
so,
he had the
like,
knowledge that they were trying to get from doing the experiments.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I suppose, yeah, because he says that their technology is far advanced than what they should be at. So yeah, so obviously that's it. But
So if
yeah, it's
anything,
just
the doctor's the real villain.
it's just well, not at all.
Plot twist.
Yeah. No, I mean, at the end of the day, the doctor does the right thing and cures everyone. But I mean, it's not like he does it in like a dramatic kind of, finding the cure kind of thing. He literally just puts all the IV bags in a big tub.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cop out, isn't it?
So I don't know. I do think the cat ladies are evil. The old sisters of plenitude.
They're not evil, and they may get a redemptive arc in future episodes, which leads me, Bradley, to a question for you. One of these cats is Martha's mum. Can you work out what cat it is? Every time I try and work it out, and I cannot tell for the life of me.
It's the bad one. It's the bad
What,
one.
like the main bad one?
Yeah,
Really?
100%. 100%. You can tell from her face.
I see. I can't.
Am I correct?
I don't know. I don't think she is the main
Or do you
one.
not know? You still don't know.
No, I don't think
Not
she's the
Novice
main
Haim.
one.
Novice Haim is the good one, isn't she?
Is she?
Who looks after the face of Bo? Yeah, Novice Haim is the good one.
Okay,
I can't remember the
definitely
name
not
of the
that
other
one.
one.
Yeah, definitely not that one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's the other one.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's not helped to answer it at all, but fair enough. It's one of the cats.
You know which one I mean.
I don't know which one you mean.
I'm pretty
Sister
sure it's
Jat
the one that
is
says
her name, apparently.
that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Is it? Oh,
It's the one
that's convenient.
Conveniently, it was that one. Yeah.
It's the one that says that they have claws and then they put their claws out.
No, I don't think. No,
Remember?
it is the one that's
yeah.
looking after the face of Bo.
No, that's Novice Haim.
It's not. I'm looking it up now.
Oh, am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong. There's a
The
picture.
other one.
I don't know. I cannot tell for the life of me.
I think you're wrong. I still think I'm right.
I think you should go fuck yourself.
So wait, one of the cats is called Martha.
One of the cats comes back as another character in next series.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to read.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just trying to read that. She's the cousin of Sister Jara, if that helps.
Oh,
Who's that?
yeah, Sister
don't
Jara. I can't know what you're talking about now.
So when
I'm also confused about you said they come back. Do they?
what do you mean? Yeah,
I don't remember the cats
in
coming
the
back.
next episode that you were talking about.
What?
Where the one with the traffic.
The one with the traffic.
They're in that though, are they?
Yeah, one of them is.
That's a completely.
Novice Haim, I think.
Oh, is it Novice Haim?
Yeah. Could be Martha's mum. Who fucking knows at this point? Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So we kind of briefly touched about it on, at the start of the episode. The Doctor is a bit more caring about Rose. You know, very almost, kind of self-sacrificial, I guess. He's in the pod, and he's just like, look, just don't worry about me. Just let Rose go. You know, he's facing certain death, and he still cares about Rose. He's like, no. And then we get kind of throughout the chase scene and everything like that. He's consistently making sure that Rose is okay. Rose's body. It's like a kind of it's a protective thing that he wants. He's like, look, don't let him touch you, and that body's not yours, and get out of Rose and everything like that. And of course, they have that brilliant argument on the ladder, where they're kind of back and forth, Cassandra's going back and forward. But can we talk about the zombies though, or the infected?
Can we just talk about that ladder scene very quickly?
Go on.
Where the fuck does that cat come from?
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
And how long were they climbing that bloody ladder for?
I mean, it looked like a long way down.
Like, none of that makes sense. Just surprise cat out of nowhere, and then it falls for about 30 minutes.
Well, honestly, the falling death just when you watch something and you just think, I can't, the brain doesn't work out what the eyes are seeing. I was just like, at one point I could have sworn that she was falling upwards, that she wasn't falling down, and I was just like, wait, hold on a minute, what? Like, I was a bit of a shit death, wasn't it?
But go on, let's talk about the zombies.
CGI again.
Yeah, they're pretty mad. I didn't expect because they are technically zombies, aren't they? They're infected. They're shuffling around. They, at the time, they're stretching.
They're
out
not dead though.
They make the zombie noises.
Yeah, they made the zombie noises. They made zombies in Doctor Who, which I didn't expect.
So they're not dead. They're not zombies because they're not dead.
Well, that's true. That's why they call them the infected, don't they?
We'll get comments. They're not zombies.
No,
I guess we already had zombies in series 1 as well. So
what were the Unquite Dead?
Yeah, the Unquite Dead.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose technically they were more zombies actually because they were possessed dead, like corpses, wasn't
they? Yeah,
they're dead. Yeah. But no, the infected were quite cool though. Again, love the makeup and the kind of the actual kind of costume and character design of them. Very creepy, very. Yeah. I liked it.
The CGI transformation is a bit 2006.
Yeah, I was going to say when one of the nurses gets infected, that was for some reason. Yeah, well, because there was two sisters that get infected. The first one looked awful, and then the second one looks a bit better. And I wonder, I don't know, because you would have thought that they've obviously edited them both at the same time, but obviously I don't. Maybe they just had two people doing they had a person doing each one, and they were just like, oh, you know what, we haven't got enough time, just put them both in. But that's it.
Best one gets a tenner.
Yeah, which was a lot back in 2006. A tenner, you could have got half your daily, half your weekly shop.
It's a whole tank of petrol.
Yeah, whole tank of petrol back then. Yeah. But yeah, it just the CGI on the first sister death just didn't look. It just looked very bad, really. And then of course we were followed by the ladder death as well, and it was just two naff bits of CGI back to back that kind of, I don't know, took me a little bit out of the episode. I was just like, oh yeah, you could tell this was made in the kind of mid-noughties, but which is really weird because season 1 was what I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, also you live in Dubai, don't you, Josh?
Yeah.
Does he?
You do, yeah. Did you recognise one of the building next to the hospital? Because I swear down that is one of the buildings in Dubai.
I didn't, to be fair. No.
You know the hotel, the kind of that's got like the flat side one, and then it's got like a curved side in the other, and it's got the spire. I think technically it's like a 6-star hotel or something like that.
I don't know. I'm just googling it now. I can't see anything.
We saw it on the phone.
Yeah, it's a bit Burj Al Arabi, to be fair. Yeah.
Is that I don't know what it's called, but you know what I mean? It was the one that we saw when we went on the yacht.
Was that built in 2006 though?
I don't know.
When was that question? If not, it is incredibly similar.
You see what I was like, wow, that kind of looks similar. Shot in Dubai, They pushed out on the budget.
1999, that's been about for.
Oh, okay, so they probably just,
They've just
I can't believe you didn't pick up on that. You literally live in that.
No. I did not at all. But no, good pickup. I like that.
I was like, no, I was just like, okay, is that the hotel building in Dubai? Couldn't remember the name of it, but I knew it was the hotel building in Dubai that's like the 6-star hotel. But yeah, and of course then we're up on the never-ending ladder, and Cassandra is then floating between the Doctor and Rose because they need the Doctor to work the sonic screwdriver, but then the
Yeah.
Doctor doesn't want Cassandra in Rose's body, which it's a bit like I kind of it's a bit short. I thought it was a bit short-sighted by the Doctor, to be honest.
I agree. And it only happens
Because-
so that Cassandra can go into the infected and then get her redemption arc. That's the only reason that's there.
Exactly, because the Doctor is there saying that, because at the end of the day, the Doctor went first. He's higher up the ladder, and the first thing he says to Cassandra is, "Don't let them touch Rose's body."
Yeah.
And
And
he's
then
like,
all of
"That's
a
not your
sudden
body."
it's like,
And he's just like, "Wait, hold on a minute. No. Let's climb up the ladder very slowly and just stop here and wait for them to climb a ladder." It was just a bit weird, but as you say, it was just so Cassandra could go inside of, the mind of one of the infected and then come back up. And again, I'd love to know the range of that kind of thing she's got.
how far can she go? Yeah, good point.
Yeah, because that I mean, all right, admittedly, it wasn't an awful lot of distance, but it wasn't a straight line.
Yeah.
Straight down, wasn't it?
No, because they're up in the they then go up on the floor like for the hatch.
Oh yeah, when they go
So
back
it has
up.
to
Yeah.
bend around, so it's not actually a direct straight line. So I'd love to know the range of that thing. And he also, I think the Doctor said that that's banned as well.
Said what, sorry?
Whatever the process that Cassandra uses, I think he says that it's a banned process or something.
Oh, yeah. Like it's an actual thing. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is really interesting because I'd love to know how people use that before it was banned.
Well, there's a question for you both then. Who are you going inside for a day?
Oh, good question.
David Tennant.
Brad just wants to be the Doctor. What's David
What are
Tennant
you
filming
going to
at the
do
moment?
inside
Yeah.
David Tennant?
Be the Doctor.
Is he filming as a Doctor at the moment?
Has been. Spoilers.
I know. I read the fucking news.
I would have said the Queen. I'd have liked to have done a day in the Queen's body.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
no, fairness. No, because it's like a different lifestyle, isn't it?
Do you
Quite
really think she
literally-
does much though, or did much?
That's just what I want to know. Like, did she have what was her bedtime routine, do you reckon?
Go to bed, wake up.
Get
Thanks,
someone
mate.
to brush
That
your
does
teeth
tend
for
to
you.
be how bedtimes work.
What are you expecting?
I don't know. Does she read a book? Does she have a drink? Does she, pleasure herself before? You just don't know these things. I'd love to know.
Fair enough.
Oh dear, that's not an image I wanted in my head. I would go on a similar thought process though. I'd probably go as like the Prime Minister or someone like I would say the US President, but I'd probably just be stood there looking at a wall going, why is my body not moving? It's just not doing anything. But just to know what juicy secrets there are that they're not they're not telling the public. Like you could go inside like kind of Joe Biden, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, I know aliens exist.
Well, no, because he'd have forgotten by the time you go in there.
That is true. He probably would have forgotten, yeah. But or like you go inside Rishi Sunak and you'd be like, oh okay, right, fair enough. Like I don't know what things do Britain get up to? We don't really get up to a lot of stuff nowadays, do we? Not like the Americans.
I don't think
You're a bit
anybody
bored
tells
in that
Rishi
aspect.
anything anyway.
No, that's true. That's true. But we do get to the finale, which the Doctor just kind of as I said, quite literally just gets a big tub and just pours every single IV bag in on the 26th floor into it. And I did like the fact that they put the disinfectant in there. But then what I didn't understand is of course, as the Doctor jumps down there, why didn't he just stick his head through the hatch or something like that?
Yeah, it's not as dramatic.
Yeah, I know it's not as dramatic, but he just stood that he stood in the elevator. Like surely if you just stuck your head through like the hatch for it, like on the ceiling of the lift, you could get more infected.
Yeah, but he probably wanted to be there to hug them all afterwards. That weird moment when
Yeah,
one of
I
them
know.
just comes
Touch
out and hugs David Tennant.
Do you reckon she just managed to get herself as an extra on there just to hug David Tennant? That wasn't scripted.
But David Tennant wasn't anybody back in these days, don't forget.
No, that's true. No, yeah, I don't think he was. Well, I say he wasn't
done a lot,
anybody,
to
but
be
I
fair.
don't think he was in anything before this, really, was he?
No, I think he did one thing with Russell, which is how he got the job. But yeah, he's an unknown basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, a
Interesting.
bit of a nothing ending, and then
Although I will
he'll-
say though, first episode of season 2, the Doctor actually saves the day.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
It is the Doctor that saves the day this time. It is him He comes up with a solution. He understands what I say in inverted commas, the enemy is. It turns out that they're misunderstood infected people, and he seeks to cure them. And that's it. So the Doctor saves the day this time. So I'm going to be interested to see next week's episode as to whether they continue that thought process, whether it's going to be the Doctor that saves the day, or whether they're going to go back and it's with the help of the companions. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, to be fair, 1 for 1 at the minute.
He is. He's 1 for 1. He is 1
Technically,
for 1.
2 for 2. I mean, he sort of stopped the Sicker Act.
That is a fair point. He did stop the cigarettes.
So there you go. We've got a new Doctor that saves the day.
Yeah, look at that. New Doctor saving that. Yeah. No, it was just an interesting point. As I was watching it, I thought, yeah, no, it's the Doctor. The Doctor saved the day. It's
yeah. So anyway, then we get the Cassandra stuff, which we've already spoken about. And then the real crux of it, we go back to Face of Boe. Do you want to theorize wildly on what you think the secret is?
You know what? I've got no idea.
Don't think it's angels, no?
Well, I mean, I thought it was going to be, because at the end of the day, I thought it was going to be like some kind of cure or something like that. He was going to give the Doctor a cure, because then the like, while the Face of Boe is asleep like earlier in the episode, one of the sisters, she kind of gives the bit of the legend about the Face of Boe, and it's like he comes back and he tells a lone traveler about, you know, kind of the I can't remember what she says. Like, it's not a solution, but like, you know. And I thought that was going to be how they fixed it, but no, they kind of pushed it off to a later date. So I've got no idea. I'm guessing whatever fix to whatever, you know, trouble the Doctor and Rose find themselves in the future.
Ooh, or the Doctor and his next companion.
I was going to say, I mean, does Rose stick around for season 3?
You have to watch and find out, JP. But speaking of things to come, hopefully you didn't watch the Next Time episode.
Didn't watch the Next Time episode.
Good boy. So
is that a thing? Is it just Jack that's not meant to watch the Next Time episode?
Funnily enough, Brad, I think you might know what's coming.
Well, yeah, I know anyway, but...
Well, because this was the thing.
Why would you not watch the Next Time episode?
No, but I'm wondering why Jack doesn't watch it.
I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Yeah. Well, the reason, because season 1 I watched them, and then the Next Time trailer for the like kind of the season finale spoiled the fact that there were loads of Daleks in it, so it kind of ruined it a bit for me. So I'm staying away from the Next Time ones now.
Really? Yeah, no, and I think there's quite a few good surprises that are coming this series, which will be pretty good for you to go in completely blind to, I reckon.
Yeah, no, that's what I want to do. You know, I want to give myself as much as a kind of a first reaction thing as possible. So that's so we're sticking to I'm not watching the Next Time things, just to keep yourself fresh, really.
Yeah, exactly. So love it or hate it, JP?
I'm going to say love it, because it was a bit of a creepy episode, and you know, I mean, it wasn't the best love it. I would have said it was a solid 5 or 6 out of 10 if he was going to do it out of 10. But it's still, you know, it's still a good episode. There were still some interesting things in there. What about you, Josh?
Not as bad as I remember it being.
Okay.
I'll go with love it. Yeah, Brad.
I would say love it, but it's still not a great episode. I'd like Jack. I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. I think.
Well, we're not. No, it's love it or hate it. We don't do this rating thing. I don't know why this is starting now. Okay. Brad's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's love it or it's hate it. That's it. That's your only two.
Oh, it's love it then. It's David Tennant. Love it.
There we go. There we go.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, everybody. So I think that about wraps it up for this week's episode. First episode, probably the only episode featuring Bradley Fuller. It's been a pleasure to have you, mate. Do you think you'll be coming back for another one?
Well, I should be, because I'm going to launch this podcast to the next level.
Well, it all depends on how good how good this episode does. But thanks for listening, everybody. Do let us know if you like the inclusion of Bradley Fuller, or if you think he was just wasted space, or if he just flat out dragged it down. We want to hear all your opinions. We actually reached a milestone with our last episode. We reached 1,000 listeners, which is probably quite small compared to some others. But, mate, considering we're 3 fucking idiots just talking nonsense about Doctor Who, and there's 1,000 of you listening to us, thanks very much. I rate that.
Yeah, no, guys, really appreciate all the love. You know, it's a huge, you know, even though as Josh said, it's not, you know, compared to other podcasts, it's not, you know, kind of the biggest milestone, but for us, it's huge. You know, we really appreciate you all listening, and you know, we really appreciate the kind of, you know, the rapport we're getting across the social medias as well, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. So, keep it up, guys, and just keep your thoughts coming to us, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And keep the engagement coming as well. I mean, this guy called George Tate Photography is his Instagram. He just messaged us over the weekend with he just passed some police boxes in Edinburgh or somewhere in Scotland. It was just like, I saw this, thought of you. Love it. Good.
Which
Check
is
out
really
his
cool.
Instagram
Yeah.
as well. Good photography. Yeah, really nice animals and stuff. So yeah, keep it coming, lads. We do genuinely want to hear if you do enjoy the inclusion of Bradley Fuller or not. But you can reach us on all the socials at DocWhoPod. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Anything to add, Jack or Brad?
No, pleasure as always, really.
Thanks for letting me join.
Yay.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. It's been a one-off pleasure.
Can't wait to be back next week.
There we go. That's that. And on that note, that is how we want to end it. With next week. On to next week. But guys, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, we'll catch you next week.
Adios, amigos.